back to Greenlands, and we are going to be getting on with some fertilizing today. So I want to test out the crop scanner. That's very tempting. ART on sale. But no, we're going to lease the Isaria Pro Active Crop Scanner because our oat fields that we planted really early are at a growth stage where this should work. It's not like the crop scanners so I'm just adding, or was thinking about adding the spot spraying for weeding later, but at 39 grand, no thanks. So we're going to load up with liquid fertilizer, and we had herbicide in there from previous jobs. So yeah, the oats that we planted in winter should be at the point where this crop scanner is going to make a difference. And when precision farming came out, I tested this quite a lot and I saw no effect. Scroft did some testing as well, and you could sort of maybe see a very subtle effect, but I want to give it one more try, basically, just to see if it makes a difference, which is why I've leased it instead of buying it, because I'll be honest, I'm not expecting it to make a massive difference, but we'll see. So loading up with some liquid fert, and we're going to go and spray these oats, get them their final fertilization state. If it makes a difference, then we'll do the same on the other arable crops. I can't remember which ones it works on, but this crop scanner does not work on all crops, and they need to be sufficiently grown to make a difference, and it does not work with herbicide either. And also you need to turn it on, which I kind of struggled with, and actually I found that I needed to, it's supposed to be Control B, I think. Sorry, Alt B to switch on the crop sensor, and I could not get that to work, so I ended up having to remap the key to switch it on. So I do get it switched on. You'll see in a moment I go into the keyboard controls and remap it. I think I do Control Shift B, something like that. Left Shift and Z. There you go. It's on now, and I don't see any difference. So I do the whole field with this thing switched on, and it just looks the same to me. I've not done more testing since I did the testing when precision farming came out, where I basically decided that this thing doesn't work. If you've done any testing and you think it makes a difference, or if you've got links to videos that show it makes a difference, I'm really curious, because so far to me that looks exactly the same. And I do like the fact that you can see that where we spread slurry and digestate on here, you do get variable nitrogen rates, as the nitrogen in that organic fertilizer varies. That's really cool. That seems to work. This feature, I don't see any benefit for the cost. I'd rather have a tank on the front and carry more. In fact, to be honest, I'd rather just use the solid fertilizer I can produce for free. But you know, so if you've got experience otherwise, then please do tell me, because my experience is this doesn't make a lot of difference. Anyway, on to the farming stuff rather than the whinging. So we are getting the oats up to optimal nitrogen level. I'm hoping these are going to be ready to harvest right at the start of the harvest window, which I think is July, because we're basically out of straw in the next couple of game days at this point. I've got the next video recorded already, and I have run out of straw, so yeah. We're going to do the second field on course plate, just because why not? Again, we've got the crop scanner on, but I see no difference. Just how it is for me. So, next job is struggling in my brain to remember what we did. I've started making some notes, but I'm not making the best notes. I think we are going to jump on and fertilize the grass. So yeah, no, actually I'm going to mulch the grass first. And for me, with precision farming, mulching is the new rolling, because you get it's tiny, but you get about a 2% bonus if you mulch your grass after you mow it. Which, at the scale we're doing grass work, actually maybe it is worth it, because we've got about 1 million litres of silage off of first cut. So actually that's a couple of thousand litres of extra, and which I just felt like doing it. For me, this is the new grass rolling, because this actually has an effect. The other effect it has, and this will only be relevant if you're playing with a geo that has base game grass behavior, which mine don't, but when they are in people's maps, they quite often do. This sets the grass from harvested to growing. Now, those growth states are the same except in one edge case, and that is if you cut in November and then do mulching or rolling, because they both have the same effect on growth state, but mulching will give you a bonus. You will get an extra growth state using the base game grass growth behavior, so you'll get a cut in earlier. You won't if you are using my geo as downloaded. So if you've added it to a map yourself, or if you're playing the Shire with whatever the fuck his name was, who used it without getting my permission first, you'll get the grass behavior where you won't see that effect, because it's set up to be quite harsh on grass, so you only get 3 cuts a year pretty much. If you're playing on Calmsden, then you will get that bonus, because Calmsden has base game grass behavior, just because it looks nicer, I think, and that was so I recommended that to Oxy. And if you play on the update to Maypole, you'll get the harsher grass behavior, because that's what Cavalier, I think that's his name, who created, not Maypole, yes, Maypole. I get Maypole and Greenlands confused. It's Maypole. The update to Maypole Farm has my geo in as well, and that has grass behavior that's somewhere between the two. It's still quite harsh on the number of cuts you'll get, but it looks nice in winter. Yeah. But I don't think you'll get that bonus off of that one as well. It's a while ago since I set that geo up. It's a custom version of my UK geo. But yeah, so mulching your grass I think is worth it. Yes, it's a small bonus, and sometimes I'm a bit harsh on small bonuses, but I do think it's, in this case, probably worth it. Particularly if, as I said, base game grass behavior, then in November, if you mulch, you'll get an earlier cut in. Just slinging solid fur on this time because it's quick, we can produce it for free, and I'm trying to do different things with my grass at different points of the year, rather than just always using digestate, or always using, pretty much always using digestate or manure or whatever that I can produce for free, or that I can produce solid fertilizer for free now as well. So, and I'm going to be actually, we're going to sell some stuff off here, because I've got the Robert grass roller that we're not going to need anymore, and the 2 Lemkin planters that we don't need anymore. So sold all of those. Made about 120,000, which is quite nice, which is going to pay for us to be able to spot spray the weeds. I'm just doing these jobs because it started raining, so adding that. I'm not actually going to get around to doing the weeding until the next video. But whilst it was raining as well, I did some landscaping. So because I use Courseplay a lot, I've put some painted grass around the feed in this field, because that will make Courseplay think it's an island. And so Courseplay will generate a course that goes round it instead of trying to go through it. The other thing that I have done at the same time, if you remember, I had problems with Courseplay and some of the grass fields, because the boundaries aren't clearly defined. So I ended up drawing the custom fields you can see. What I have done is go around the hedgerows and paint in text terrain. So you can see there's some manually painted terrain and grass. I've done that for all the fields I had problems, and they now all work, so that was kind of cool. And I also did some landscaping on this bit of the bank here, because I was never going to mow it, so I've put painted grass down and put some trees in, and the same here, and it just looks nicer, I think. Obviously the trees are going to help, the root structure of the trees is going to help with retention of that bank as well. Yeah, I just thought it looked nicer than just having the grass there that I was never going to mow. Yeah, now stopped raining, so we're going to crack on with spreading some solid fertilizer. Sometimes I will do that kind of stuff in the rain, sometimes I don't care, sometimes I'll stop. And you can see again around here where I've painted in the meadow texture and the grass. just makes it easier to use courseplay, which I'm using a fair bit on here because we have a lot of farm and a lot of fields. So yeah, I have to. Did say I think I was going to keep all of the silage. I've decided since that I'm probably going to sell about half of it, and I think we're going to put in our first set of generators. So from the modular BGA pack, both of my BGAs will work with those. So we're going to put those in. I'm probably going to install them down by the mega field, which is where we're going to put in a big industrial BGA. I'm wondering actually if we can raise the cash to put that in now, and maybe we can ship some of the silage down there. What I was actually musing is we might just transfer the baled silage into the 2 silos we have next to the BGA and use those to boost the capacity and do some distribution. Because we've got quite a bit in that first bunker that we did still, and we've got, I say, 1 million litres sat in those bales, so I don't think we need all of that. Comfortable, we could probably sell off half of it, and that'll generate some more cash, which means hopefully we can make another loan payment. Alright, I am going to move some of the slurry, I think. Sorry, as is quite often the way, as I've said in I think it was one of the recent Calmson videos, it's been quite a while since I recorded the gameplay footage for this video, so my notes are not detailed enough. I'm getting better at writing them again. What I'm starting to do is write them as I edit the video, and then means when I get around to recording the commentary, I have some pointers for what I've done. But yeah, we're going to put some of the slurry through the BGA. No point keeping that. We might as well turn it into cash and digestate, which we can then turn into solid fertilizer or spread on the fields. Obviously, you get you lose a bit in the process, but the drying to solid fertilizer is very generous. So yeah, not so worried. We are almost out of sugar up at the sugar factory. So yeah, that's kind of cool that we've finally almost processed that. It's taken so long to process all that sugar beet and cut sugar beet into sugar, but we did make quite a bit of money from it. So yeah, not too worried. We haven't got any sugar beet in the ground this year, but we may do some next year. I had a question about whether I am going to keep going until I've paid all the loan off on here, and I don't know. It's my intent. Depends how long it takes, I guess. We'll see. I think the cash generation is going to grow pretty rapidly as we get more animals and the mega field going. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to say thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button, leave me a comment, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you next time on Greenlands.